Hello students, how are you doing? I hope you're good. Today is going to be our first practice class while you're at home. We hope to have more classes like this to help you while you're at home for the purpose of revision. Okay? So for today, our first topic is about commercial arithmetic, talking about inflation, which I have previously taught in class. And I believe most of you are already familiar with it, but we still have to revise, so when the exams come, you're sharper and ready to go. Okay, so we have an example here, and I'll quickly read through. This is a bucket of Gary costs 500 naira. Now, the reason why I'm using Gary is because of what's happening right now, and it's easily relatable for you, knowing how things are expensive in the market right now. So let's continue. A bucket of Gary costs 500 naira. Find the cost of buying the same bucket of Gary in 3 years' time, correct to the nearest 50 naira if the inflation rate is 10% per annum. Again, the bucket of Gary costs 500 naira. Find the cost of buying the same bucket of Gary in 3 years' time, correct to the nearest 50 naira if the inflation rate is 10% per annum. So we'll begin. Solution. Now the initial cost of the bucket of Gary is 500 naira. So that's our principal. It's 500 naira. Okay. So for our first year, the rise in costs, we said the inflation rate is 10% per annum. So we're going to be calculating 10% of our principal for every year. That will be 10 over 100 multiplied by our principal, which is 500 naira. Now this 0 cancels the 0. This 0 can cancel this 0. We are left with 50 naira as the rise in cost after the first year. 50 naira is a rise in cost after the first year. So, for us to be able to find out how much a bucket of Gary will cost after the first year, we're going to have and that will be our initial principal added to the rise in cost. That will be 500 naira added to 50 naira, which sums up to a total of 550 naira. Okay? But now, going through the question says we should find the cost of buying the same bucket of Gary in 3 years' time. So we're not going to be calculating for just the first year. We'll calculate for the first year, the second year, and the third year. So we'll be going over to the other side to calculate for the second year. So for the second year, we'll have once again we'll calculate for our rise in cost. But at this point, you will have to remember that the principal at the end of the first year is no longer the principal we started with, which was 500 naira. Now for the second year, our principal is what we got at the end of the first year, which is now 550 naira. Okay? So principal will now be 550 naira. Now we'll calculate for the rise in cost of a bucket of Gary, knowing that our inflation rate is 10%. So, rise in cost, 10% multiplied by our principal, which is 550 naira. Once again, the 0 can cancel the 0, the 0 can cancel the 0, and when this multiplies out, we are left with 55 naira as our rise in cost. Just like we did for the first year, to find out the cost of a bucket of Gary at the end of the second year, we're going to sum up the second year principal, add it to the rise in cost of the Gary. That will be 550 naira added to 55 naira, and that will give us 605 naira. Okay, class, we are done with the second year, so we'll move on to the third year. Once again, as I said, the principal for the third year now becomes the cost at the end of the second year, and that is 605 naira. To calculate the rise in costs, that will be 10% of our principal, which is 10 over 100, multiplied by 605 naira. This zero can cancel this zero. Now we have 605 naira divided by 10. With our knowledge of decimals, we find out that 605 naira is something at 605.0, which means that our decimal point for 605 naira is at this point. Because we are dividing by 10, we're going to be moving our decimal point from this point a step backward. So automatically 605 naira divided by 10 becomes 60 naira 50 kobo, or 60.5. Okay? I'll quickly erase this. Now we have gotten the rise in cost. The next step we are going to do is to find out the cost at the end of the third year, the cost of the bucket of Gary. Will be our principal added to the rise in cost, which is 605 naira added to 60 naira 50 kobo, and that gives us 665 naira 50 kobo. Now, this is supposed to be our answer at the end of the third year, but the question here says a bucket of Gary costs 500 naira. Find the cost of buying the same bucket of Gary in 3 years' time, correct to the nearest 50 naira. If you observe, the answer we have here is 665 naira 50 kobo. So if we are going to approximate 665 naira 50 kobo to the nearest 50 naira, then we'll have a different value. The final answer we have 665 naira 50 kobo. To the nearest 50 naira, that will be 650 naira. So our final answer will be 650 naira for a bucket of Gary, correct to the nearest 50 naira. So, since we have our cost at the end of the third year to be 665 naira 50 kobo, but the question says we should approximate to the nearest 50 naira. Now, to the nearest 50 naira means we either have between 650 naira to 700 naira. We have a range of between 650 naira to 700 naira. But if you observe here, 665 naira 50 kobo is already greater than 650 naira. So if we are going to approximate this, then our answer is going to be 700 naira, correct to the nearest 50 naira. We have this is our final answer. Thank you. We'll be getting the next example. For our next example, we have the topic simultaneous equations. It's also a topic I taught in class severally, and I believe giving you something like this will help sharpen your minds. So, the example here says, the sides of a parallelogram are given in centimeters. Find the values of x and y, hence the perimeter of the parallelogram. And the figure is drawn here for us. Now the truth is, for one to be able to solve a question like this, you must be able to remember the properties of a parallelogram. Because someone who doesn't remember or know the properties of a parallelogram cannot solve this question. So we begin with our solution. Now we must remember that there are different properties of parallelograms. Well, for now in this question we need just one property of parallelograms to be able to solve this question. The property we need tells us that the opposite sides of a parallelogram are equal. The opposite sides of a parallelogram are equal. It means that the side is equal to this side. The length of this side is also equal to the length of this side. So I'll quickly put that down. So, continuing with this assumption, it means that this side, the length of this side, is equal to the length of this side. So quickly put that down. We have 2x plus y is equal to 5y minus 8. So at this point, we're going to rearrange this linear equation and collect like terms. So we have 2x plus y. Since we are collecting like terms, we'll need plus 5y to come from the right hand side of the equation to the left hand side of the equation. And since we are moving from the right hand side of the equation to the left hand side of the equation, it means that its sign will change from being positive to negative. So we have minus 5y is equal to minus 8. At this point, you have to remember the knowledge of your directed numbers, because we have y minus 5y. So get 2x minus 4y is equal to minus 8. I'll quickly draw a short number line for those who don't remember the use of directed numbers, so that you can understand how y minus 5y becomes minus 4y. So let's assume we have a number line. This is our 0 mark. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. And to the left hand side of the number line, we have minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, minus 5, and so on. Okay, so we have y minus 5y. Now, the coefficient of y here is 1. So, we begin at our 0 mark. If we want to represent plus 1 on the number line, we move from the 0 mark one time to the right hand side of the number line. Why are we moving to the right hand side of the number line? Because every positive number moves to the right hand side of the number line, while every negative number moves to the left hand side of the number line. So we have +1 moving from 0 to 1. We are now adding -5 to +1. So we're at this point, remember, going -5, it means we are going to the left hand side of the number line 5 times. So from here, this is where we have to move 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. We end up at -4. So definitely it means that +1 minus 5 gives us -4. So this becomes our first equation. Let me quickly take that off the board. Now we have our first equation. We're going to go towards getting our second equation. Just like what we did for the first one, we look at these two sides. We can comfortably say that 3y plus 2x is equal to 4x minus 3. So we're going to rearrange once again and collect like terms. If we rearrange and collect like terms, we're going to have, now we have 3y first here, but because I want uniformity, if you observe for equation 1, I have x coming before y, so I want to achieve uniformity, so I'll treat x first before I treat y. So collecting like terms here, we're going to have 2x. We have x here on the right hand side. 2x here, but I have 4x on the right hand side of the equation. So I need my 4x on the right hand side of the equation to move to the left hand side of the equation, and that means since each sign here is positive, when it moves to the left hand side of the equation, it becomes negative. So I have 4x, so x minus 4x. Now I have 3y here plus 3y is equal to minus 3. So just like we did the last time, with our knowledge of directed numbers, 2x minus 4x gives us minus 2x plus 3y is equal to minus 3. This becomes our second equation. So at this point now, we have gotten both equations. We can now solve both equations simultaneously. So as I said earlier, looking at both equations, we have first equation 2x minus 4y is equal to minus 8. And for our second equation, we have minus 2x plus 3y is equal to minus 3. So if you look at it, we have the coefficient here as 2, the coefficient here as minus 2. So it's easier to use the elimination method. So solving simultaneously, using elimination method. We have 2x minus 4y is equal to minus 8 as equation 1. We have minus 2x plus 3y is equal to minus 3 as equation 2. So if we are going to eliminate x, what we simply have to do is to add both equations. Adding both equations, we have 2x plus minus 2x. 2x plus minus 2x gives us 2x minus 2x, and 2x minus 2x gives us 0. Okay? So it means that the x coefficient here has been eliminated. Now we move on here. We have minus 4y plus 3y. Minus 4y plus 3y is equal to, come over here, minus 8 plus minus 3. Minus 8 plus minus 3. So Okay? So, minus 4y plus 3y is simple as saying 3y minus 4y. Okay, and that gives us minus y as being equal to minus 8 plus minus 3. Minus 8 plus minus 3 is simple as saying minus 8 minus 3. So we have minus y is equal to minus 11. Now at this point, we're supposed to find the value of y and not the value of minus y. The coefficient of y here is minus 1. So for us to be able to find the value of y, we have to divide both sides of the equation by the coefficient of y, which is minus 1. So, dividing by minus 1, we have minus y divided by minus 1 is equal to minus 11 divided by minus 1. The minus sign cancels the minus sign here. The minus sign here cancels the minus sign here. And finally, we have the value of y as being equal to 11 centimeters. Now we have been able to find the value of y. The next step is to find the value of x. And for us to be able to find the value of x, we have to substitute this value of y we have found here into either equations 1 or 2. So quickly, if we substitute, the value of y into equation 1, we have something like this: 2x minus 4y is equal to minus 8. We can share this in 2. Since our value of y here is 11 centimeters, substituting the value of y into this equation means replacing y with 11 centimeters over here. So we have something like this: 2x minus 4 into 11 is equal to minus 8. So if we remove the brackets here, we multiply 11 by minus 4. So we have 2x minus 44 is equal to minus 8. Now at this point, we have to collect like terms. Minus 44 and minus 8 are like. So if I have to collect like terms, I'll move minus 44 from the left-hand side of the equation to the right-hand side of the equation, and it becomes positive. So we have 2x is equal to 44 minus 8. And if 2x is 44 minus 8, then it means that 2x is equal to 36. And for us to be able to find the value of x, we have to divide both sides of the equation by the coefficient of x, which is 2. So we have 2x divided by 2 is equal to 36 divided by 2. 2 can safely cancel out 2. For us to get x, and 36 divided by 2 safely give us 18 centimeters. Now we have been able to find the values of x and y. The next step in the question, it says we should find the perimeter of the parallelogram. We should find the perimeter of the parallelogram. And finding the perimeter of the parallelogram is simply adding the sum, is simply summing the lengths of the four sides of the parallelogram. Okay? Simply summing lengths of the four sides of the parallelogram. Since this is equal to this and this is equal to this, we can simply pick any one. We can begin with 4x minus 3. 4x minus 3 simply give us 4 into our value of x, which is 18, minus 3. And 4 multiplied by 18 gives us 72 minus 3. Therefore, it means that this side is now 69 centimeters. So, if 4x minus 3 is 69 centimeters, it also means 3y plus 2x is 69 centimeters. You can try that on your own. You'll find out you get the same thing. We move on to this side. We have 2x plus y. The value of x here is 18. So 2 multiplied by 18 plus a value of y, which is 11 centimeters. 2 times 18 gives us 36, added to 11, and that gives us 47 centimeters. So it means that if this place is 47 meters, this is also 47 centimeters rather, sorry, not meters, 47 centimeters. So finding out our perimeter of parallelogram as I said, will be the sum of all four sides. That will be here, which is 69 centimeters, added to here, which is 69 centimeters, 47 centimeters, finally was 47 centimeters. If you add the four of them, it gives you 232 centimeters. That is the value of the perimeter of the parallelogram. This is where we come to the end of today's class. Shortly I'll give you your assignment, and that'll be all. Now this is your assignment. The first question says the present cost of a DVD player is 48,000 naira. If the rates of inflation for the next 2 years are 25% and 15% respectively, find the cost of buying the same kind of player in 2 years' time. Second one says find the values of x and y in the figures below. You have I, the first one, where you have an equilateral triangle, and for the second one, where you have a rectangle. Okay? Now, this is my email address, askbenny247@gmail.com, or my phone number displayed on the screen for you, so you can always reach me through any of this. Stay safe, maintain social distancing, and take very good care of yourselves.